to Model Railroading for Dummies, the how-to show for model railroading dummies just like me. Now I know it has been a long time since I last uploaded. I've multiple times tried starting things up, but always things got in the way. So, my last attempt was actually quite recently. I had a layout plan, I was making some good progress, I got some video footage. I hadn't gotten around to actually making the videos yet, but then something happened. My dad's cousin, his home, the place where he grew up that he was renting, the woman renting it passed away, and he offered it to me. And as this place is only 1 mile from home, I took the opportunity. So, for the last 6 months, I've been working on the place, putting some paint in here, because the paint colors in here were nice and dark. Yeah, I do not care for dark paint for houses. I like lighter colors. But this also means I've got an opportunity to make a new layout. Really exciting stuff. So, I've also been waiting to start this channel up because I didn't get internet till yesterday. That's the one downside to this place. I had to wait. Because I moved in the 1st of January, and I was getting fiber internet, which you need to dig in the ground, which, if you're familiar with South Dakota, yeah, that's not happening until spring. So, half of that wait time was due to the fact to wait for the ground to thaw, so they could dig in it. And even if I had internet, it probably would have taken a while, because I spent a lot of time working on the house during the winter, and also working outside, working on the rock garden / flower garden. And also so that we could get cattle down here. That was an adventure. Never separate a cow from their calves and just wire up the gate normally, thinking it'll hold for a whole 15 minutes. Wire it much better than that. I highly recommend it. Unless you feel like a 2-hour run. So, without further ado, I'm going to show you the train room where I'm going to place the layout. Just kind of show you what my planning is. And then, for our project today, we'll put up the brackets for the shelving, because it's going to be a shelf layout. It's going to be a modern switching layout. Sort of a branch line, like a class 3 switching railroad. Haven't decided yet any particular. I'm just going for generic. So, without any further ado, I'll show you the train room. Okay, here we are in the train room. This is actually a newer part of the house. This house is extremely ancient. My sister's fiance is an electrician, so he helped get me some new outlets and upgrade some of the old outlets so that they're 3-prongers. Not bloody 2-prongers. That tells you how old this house is. Most of the outlets in here were 2-prongers. So, I'm planning the end of the layout is going to be here. So make a line. As for that door just goes right to the kitchen, which is actually right over there. So, I don't need a door to the kitchen. And besides, if you open the door, you're not going to open it, because there's a small chest freezer on the other side. So, no problem shutting up that door. So the layout will come around here. I will have to cover the windows, but I'm planning the layout to be about this level height. So, I don't know exact height for that is. But it's a nice chest height for me. So come around on the side. And then come around here. This is a door to the outside that I never use. So what I'm thinking is the layout will go all the way over to here. And then what I'm just going to do is have a removable section in front of the door there. Just a removable staging layout or just a staging track. Doesn't have to be anything particular. So that's the plan. It's approximately 11 by 17 feet. So now the wood I'm going to be using is this type of wood. You can get it from, I got these from Lowe's. Normally, what it's used for is like for making, for what people do woodworking projects, making tables or chairs or something like that, where they want really nice looking wood. Or in my case, make a nice desk here for all my hobby stuff. I didn't make this. This came with the house. So, the thing I like about this is that it is nice and solid. I mean, it's 3/4 inches thick. So, I don't have to worry about having any supports. Oh, I don't have to worry about having any supports over a fairly wide gap here across this window. So, no problems there. And I also want to design this so that I can undo this if I want to. If I need to move it out, I can relatively easily. So, that's what I'm thinking on at the moment. So, let's go start putting on some brackets. Okay, I used a stud finder to try and find the studs. Unfortunately, thanks to this being a really old house, it didn't always work the best. It was a little bit tricky trying to find the studs, but it was helpful that there was an outlet there. So obviously on one side or the other, there was a stud. So I was able to find a stud there. Only needed to find one stud here and 2 studs over on the left side, which I forgot to film. So, yeah, screwed up there. And so what I'm doing here is measuring it so that you get the approximate height that I need to have it, based on the height of the other side over on the left side. So I'm using these brackets with the angle on them to give them extra strength. So these are nice heavy duty brackets. So I mean, when these are screwed on, they're not going anywhere. So just lining it up so it could be about as level as possible. And just kind of pushing the screw into the sheetrock to get it started, so that I can get the drill and drill the first one in. So here's a close-up of me getting the top part of the screw in. Because like it has 3 holes in it for screws, I just put 2 in. And there we go. Nice solid bracket. If you see me bobbing around a little bit, I'm listening to music from the anime Girls und Panzer, so that's what the bouncing / dancing is all about, in case you're wondering. So, what I'm doing here for the other bracket on this side is I put the bracket underneath the wood, and then I have a level on top of that. And so just raise or lower the bracket until the bubble is dead center. So that way I don't have to measure and 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 measure on end. This way everything should stay level. Because no matter what, I guarantee you my measuring is going to screw up somewhere. So doing it this way makes it just so much easier.
Also, a tip, always make sure before you get into your next position, make sure you have all your tools and screws with you so that once you move the board or anything, it's not like, okay, got it in position. And your drill is 2 inches away from the end of your fingertips. I hate that. So yeah, it's so much easier finding studs with these windows. As much as it's annoying to cover up the windows and work around the windows, it is really nice having them because then it's easy to find the studs. Yeah, here's me dancing again because this is the character Yukari. The music that's playing when the character Yukari is introduced. My favorite character from the series. She's an absolute tank nut. So, yep, just moving the board. Surprisingly, I did not drop the level. I don't know how. Because that's me. I drop stuff. And so this is sped up, and so it's going to be much the same. And there we have it. We got our brackets up. As you can see, there's a little bit of a gap there that needs to be filled because the board isn't quite long enough. That'll be a fairly easy fix. And so, as you can see here, there's a little bit of an overlap where it'll have to be trimmed. That'll be done later. Yeah, here's a more close up. There's also going to be a peninsula coming in from this point here. So that'll be explained later. And so there, it goes to the very end. It will need a slight trimming at the end. Okay, that's going to be it for today. I got the brackets up. So now we can move on to our next step, which will be adding on the backdrop boards for the backdrop. Because I have to do that first because I'm going to be using 1x4s. And so we got to also put the connecting boards on and everything. So, and I don't know as you can see, I'm going to have to do a little bit of cutting. But I don't know exactly how much I need to cut off until after I get the 1x4s in the back so that everything will fit together all nicely. So overall, it proved to be a fairly easy project. What was really nice is the fact that I only had to find 3 studs. Because as every other one, all I just needed to stick it slap up against a door frame or a window frame, and voila, it's nice and straight, and I have a stud. But other than that, it took a little while to find the first studs, because it was a deep stud or something, I don't know. It's old house. So it wasn't easy to find, so I have a couple holes I'm going to have to patch. But no biggie deal there. Just going to end up being some minor repairs. And so, until the next episode, keep your train on the tracks.